Welcome to the state of Ohio. I'm Karen Kassler. Next week is the first debate among the 4 announced Democratic candidates for governor in 2018. But Democrats have been waiting to see if 2 high-profile politicians could also jump into the primary contest in May. And those contenders were testing the waters during one of the year's biggest political holidays this past weekend in the hopes of firing some people up or maybe changing some people's minds. State House correspondent Andy Chow reports.
Coney Island in Cincinnati was hopping. The grills were fired up, exhibition booths were open, and the band was playing. This is all to celebrate union workers in the Southwest Ohio region, an event that draws in a lot of elected officials and political contenders. It's also a good place to test the waters for a possible gubernatorial run. Former Ohio Attorney General Richard Cordray wouldn't say if that's why he was there. In fact, he couldn't. Cordray is currently the director of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, a federal job that bars him from making any public political moves. So when he took the stage at the AFL-CIO Labor Day picnic, he only made comments based around his work at the CFPB.
We need a marketplace, and we need a justice system, and we need other key pieces of our society to operate more effectively and truly reflect the principle, the very American principle, that every one of us counts. Again, it's not just about the money. It's also about dignity and respect.
When he stepped off the stage, Cordray was asked several questions regarding a possible run for governor, but he only had this to say.
I can't really speak to that today, so I have nothing to say about that.
Thousands of people were at the picnic, but Cordray's crowd was small, possibly because any buzz about his appearance died down when it was clear he wasn't resigning from his federal post, at least not yet. So while Cordray was in Cincinnati shaking hands and meeting union workers, another possible contender was on the other side of the state doing the same thing. Jerry Springer, the host of a tabloid talk show and former mayor of Cincinnati, was in Cleveland to talk to labor groups on a street corner. He told the crowd that he was worried about business in America and the obsession with larger profit margins.
One day we are going to wind up with 3 companies in America, and most people replaced by computers and machines or workers overseas who work for less money. So what makes sure that we're still going to be around, that workers are still going to be able to make a living wage? Unions.
Springer has also been making the rounds recently. He's participated in public forums like the Columbus Metropolitan Club, and he was also very visible, though seemed to be trying to be low-key, at the Democratic National Convention last July. When he talks to groups, he's not shy about what he calls his, quote, stupid TV show. And he's been very critical of the Trump administration, a White House that he says is steering America in the wrong course.
We have a White House now that is really opposed, for the first time in our lifetime, we have a White House that is opposed to the idea America.
That's right.
We are a multicultural society. That is America.
Yes!
The symbol of America is the Statue of Liberty, not a wall.
It should be noted that Springer has floated trial balloons like this before. He publicly considered runs for the U.S. Senate in 2000 and 2004, but didn't join the race either time. And the only time he did run statewide, in the Democratic gubernatorial primary in 1982, he lost to eventual winner Richard Celeste. Some Democrats balk at the idea of Springer as a serious candidate, but former Democratic Party Chair Jim Ruvolo admits with Donald Trump's success, Springer's identity might not be as much of a roadblock as he once thought.
But the truth is, after Donald Trump, I'm not criticizing him anymore. I mean, people seem to forgive and forget if you have a compelling message.
And Ruvolo says Springer could have an edge over Cordray because, as a well-known figure, he brings attention to a party that's been swept in the past 2 slates of statewide executive races.
So I'm not sure Rich changes the race dramatically by getting in, unless, and this is a big unless, he brings with him the money that Elizabeth Warren and some national Democrats will raise for him. If that happens, then he clearly will have an impact on the race.
Back in Cincinnati, a key Democratic player, House Minority Leader Fred Strayhorn, weighed in on the possibility of Cordray vying for the nomination.
We really want to support what we believe is the strongest ticket, and that takes some time. I think he's a really good candidate or credible candidate, but so are a number of the other people that we have in the race, and our job is to try to sift through who's going to represent the Democratic Party statewide the best. And so while I'm intrigued to see him enter the race, we still want to make sure that we're picking the right people.
But Strayhorn says nobody should count out Springer either.
Jerry deserves the same opportunity to make his case and make an argument that he's a strong person for the spot. He's a very smart, articulate person. He's very charming, knows how to tell a good story, and I think he'll fight hard for the citizens of Ohio. But again, no rubber stamps. Everybody's got to make their case.
A decision from either potential candidate could come soon. The first Democratic gubernatorial debate is set to take place in Belmont County later this month. Andy Chow, State House News Bureau.